Millions of light years away, stars were being observed through powerful telescopes, becoming the supernovae that light up our skies. But down here on Earth, one particular institute got caught up in the light it tried to capture and became a supernova of its own. A facility truly banished to the wilds of Ayrshire, with the ashes scattered amongst the forest it hid in. The Scottish Dark Sky Observatory.
Thanks to innovative technology and specialist facilities, we can get a closer glimpse at what famed astronomer Sir John Herschel once described as the landmarks of our universe. And through our observations of the space that our planet occupies, we can accomplish a deeper understanding of our universe, as well as discover what else may be out there. And this particular institute in the southern border of East Ayrshire did exactly that to help us reach for the stars.
The Scottish Dark Sky Observatory was the brainchild of Mark Gibson, the owner of the Craigengillan estate, who partnered with Colin Anderson, his friend and a member of the Renfrewshire Astronomical Society. Mark wanted to bring astronomy to the local area and provide a fantastic excursion for those holidaying at the estate. After a formal opening ceremony conducted by then First Minister the late Alex Salmond, the observatory was open to the public in October of 2012. The observatory sat nestled in the periphery of the Galloway Forest's Dark Sky Park, northwest of Loch Doon in the Ness Glen, and south of the rural villages of Dunmellinton and Bellsbank.
All were welcome at the observatory, from amateur stargazers and local astronomy clubs to educational groups and experienced astronomers to help foster an interest in the stars. And it quickly became a widely popular attraction that educated and encouraged all who paid a visit. This helped to accentuate the gold tier status that the Galloway Park was awarded in 2009 by the International Dark Sky Association due to the quality of darkness that the forest slept underneath, making it the only European dark sky park at the time.
The building had some incredible equipment, which included a 5-metre adjustable dome that housed our prized 20-inch corrected Dalkirkham telescope. Alongside that was also a roll-off dome that housed our 14-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope for a more hands-on astronomical experience, as well as an 8 and a 10-inch portable Dobsonian telescope, alongside an array of imaging software and equipment. I also got to meet with Dave, a former volunteer at the observatory, to tell me about his own experiences.
As soon as the stars cleared, we'd get people up to the telescopes. Then you'd assist with the telescopes, directing the telescopes at the planets or the stars. One star, Betelgeuse in Orion, when I was a lad, used to get told the light left that in 1066, the Battle of Hastings. So when I was looking at it when I was a boy, that's, the light had left that much earlier. And you're standing there looking at history. Even the light from the sun takes 8 minutes to reach the Earth, so we're always seeing the sun 8 minutes old. So a lot of people don't know that. Just things like that, you can see the amazement in people's faces. Plus, being in such a dark sky park, you could point out, you can clearly see the Milky Way here on a dark night. Stands out where people coming from towns and cities where there's a lot of light pollution, they maybe see a couple of stars and that's it.
Because I was going to ask you what was your favourite part about working here at the observatory, but I would assume that the reactions of people would definitely be probably number one for you.
What I liked about it was, I'm no professional, I'm an amateur astronomer, but just seeing people listening to what I was saying and taking it on board, and then maybe getting a bit of feedback later on saying, we did that, we tried that, we saw this, just seeing how chuffed they were with what they'd actually managed to do and see was great. That was payment enough for me.
Unfortunately, just like how the Leo constellation roars upon the stratosphere, so too did the blaze that consumed this facility.
On the 23rd of June 2021, the building went up in flames during the early hours, and the remote location's poor accessibility and access to water meant that the ability of the firefighters to reach the blaze was difficult. Due to the mostly wooden construction of the building and long periods of hot and dry weather at the time, the inferno was as quick to start as the building was to disintegrate. The fire was suspected of being arson, with the police reporting it as suspicious. The perpetrators were never caught and the case is still open. The public outcry for the loss of a brilliant facility was widespread not only throughout Ayrshire, but throughout the world, as the building attracted international fans and tourists, with theoretical physicist and comedian Darryl O'Brien even tweeting out his sympathies after the loss of the observatory.
Nearly nothing remains of the building, and the observatory's destruction was described as a local and international loss. Today, the land lays bare and is scarred by the flames that engulfed it that fateful night, but hope has shone through.
We'd like to take a moment to thank the National Laureate Community Fund for supporting the TV Ayrshire project. The funds help us provide employability skills for young people from the Ayrshire between the ages of 16 and 25. If you're interested in becoming a member of the TV Ayrshire crew, you can contact us at ayrshirefilmco.org.
The SDSO Board of Trustees were able to carry out a feasibility survey thanks to a £10,000 grant from East Ayrshire Council with the intention of reviving the observatory. Not only that, but they received a significant insurance settlement which has helped further develop their plans. And after careful consideration, the observatory will be returning to the Galloway Forest, but not in Dalmelton.
In a press release from the SDSO, they announced that the observatory would be rebuilt in the Caternshaws Loch in Dumfries, citing better road access and security. The development comes with a £1.5 million price tag and is expected to open its doors towards the end of 2026. Caternshaws Loch was one of two locations the SDSO had narrowed down to, with the other being Loch Doon. But locals are organising with a plan to build a local observatory separate from the SDSO. I was able to sit down with Mark and have a chat about what the observatory meant, not just to him, but to the local area.
It built into quite a big thing eventually, because originally it started with just the two telescopes. You can just see the two towers that the two telescopes were on, but then there was a planetarium added at the far end as well, so over the years it was expanding all the time. We had a viewing deck which was on the first floor, because quite a lot of the things, when you're in the Dark Skies Park, you really just want to look up and get a view of all the stars that you can see in the Milky Way. Because it's dark, so dark here away from the towns, you get a clear view of the Milky Way. Once you start looking through a telescope, you're looking at a very narrow thing. You're looking at maybe a star or a planet or something, so it's not as easy to admire the whole sky.
After the place burned down, there was a feasibility survey. There was looks at potentially reopening the observatory, but maybe not here. What information can you put?
After it burnt down, that we had to obviously look at rebuilding it, and there is still a keen idea to rebuild it, but it was whether to relocate it or not, and there's a sort of differences of opinions in the area on that. The overall feeling was, as a commercial venture, finding a new location with easier access for larger numbers of people to come to, this might not be the ideal site because of where we are. And the road up here is obviously an issue as well. If you want a bus, you're not going to get them to come up here. So that was the negative sides for it. So somewhere which was more accessible was one of the main drivers for another location. But locally, everybody felt this had grown to being quite a big thing in the area, and it was almost, Mellington was getting the sign saying "Village in the Stars," basically. So they were wanting to keep it here as well. So there still is a split there that, yes, from a commercial point of view, you might be better to move somewhere else, but from an educational point of view, this is still quite a good site.
The observatory shone brightly as an attraction, which sadly became a premature supernova, but it was a gift that allowed us a candid view of the stars that decorate the nocturnal ether. The observatory's demise was a true loss to the stargazing community, and it has damaged the local economy.
If you have an interest in the stars, regardless of your ability or level as a stargazer, then subscribe to the Scottish Dark Sky Observatory's Facebook page for tips and to stay updated on the progress being made to rebuild the observatory. We must thank both Marks, Dave and Fiona for their participation in helping create this documentary.
The Azures of Earth are a great mystery with a story we don't yet know in full, but it's still great fun to fantasise and speculate. And as former President Theodore Roosevelt once said, keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. I'm Josh Kenovan, and this has been Hidden Ayrshire.
Remember to like, share and subscribe for more content from the Ayrshire Film Company and TV Ayrshire, including more episodes of Hidden Ayrshire, sports coverage and news from up and down the Ayrshire coast. Let us know if you ever looked through the observatory's telescope, and tell us about the beauty your eyes beheld. Thanks for watching.